Namaste, Jai Bharat. One of the difficult problems in this contemporary society is one that of terrorism. There is terrorism because there are terrorists. And why there are terrorists? One should know. There are fundamentally terrorists. Recently there was a video from Pakistan. Pakistan, they themselves are telling that all the world terrorists are Muslims. They are accepting the fact. At least some people are accepting the fact, not the nation as such. Maybe the majority of them are still glorifying terrorism because for them, last time I had an interview of the late President Musharraf, Pakistan. He was telling these terrorists were heroes to them. The hero Haji, he was telling. They used to treat them as heroes. So that situation is slightly shifting. I think so, at least with some sensible people it's shifting, must be shifting. So the problem is that there are terrorism because they're terrorists, and borrowing the expression from the Pakistani media, which I happened to hear a couple of days before, most of them are Islamists. Of course, there is a version of Islam which we call as political Islam. It doesn't mean that the religion per se is promoting terrorism, but there are people inside the religion who are supposed to be autochthones or custodians of religion who say that this is Islam and this only is Islam. That's a problem with many people, not only with the religion, with many such things. This is right and other things are not right. Now, that's a common problem with many people. It had been happening even in the past, and it shall continue also to future. So, the point is that there's a kind of pattern of education which essentially originating from the madrasa type of education, which tells that this life is unreal. The life on this world is unreal and it's spurious kind of life. That's what they teach. And the real life is after death. This is very dangerous. The real life is after death. So after death there are a series of promises and also equally threats of punishment. Both things work together. If you do this, these things are there, and if you don't do this, then these consequences are awaiting you. You will have to brace yourselves to face it. Torture, indefinite and unspeakable kind of torture, which they envisage, depending upon the fancy of whosoever is speaking these kind of things to whomever. No. Once a group of people, youngsters, young minds, there's a problem. They're very, very volatile and uncertain. They're convinced that this life is spurious, it's not real, and the real life is after death, and therefore you should make death your profession. And once you die, for the sake of some faith system, then your heaven is guaranteed. Now, this is what really pushes people to terrorist activism. This is what really pushes youngsters into terrorist activism, because they are sure that after dying only, the real life begins. So what's the point of continuing in this world with all kinds of difficulties, what you call tears, sweat and hunger? Why should they live here? They'll die, and they'll die for the cause of something, some causes which as they taught projected to them. Then they welcome deaths, and they do anything to die for the sake of the right reason in their minds. These are the kinds of things taught to them. For the kinds of right reason, one is prepared to die, and therefore they will do anything. That is the cause of terrorism. And actual culprits are the interpreters who pose themselves as authorities and custodians and autochthones of faith system. Most likely the faith system is interpreted to their convenience, where their convenience becomes criterion for each case, from differing from one case to another, but with the common objective of terrorist activities. Be it Hamas, be it Hezbollah, be it the Houthis, be it anyone, be it the IS, be it anyone. They were all trained like that, and these are, I'm talking about the people, those who go to the forefront to get into terrorist activities and blast themselves when they're called for, when they're asked to. But then they have a set of leaders. The leaders are the most comfortable people. They have luxuries of this world. They will enjoy every luxuries of this world, and they want every luxuries of this world, and at the same talk to their followers in such a manner that this life is spurious and the life awaits after the death. I wonder if these people themselves believe in a life after death. If they believe in a life after death, then why they would want to prolong their living here amidst all kinds of thinkable, enviable, envisagable, and enviable, of course, luxuries. They involve in all kinds of luxury, all kinds of sensuousness. They won't take risk. They send the youngsters forward because they want authority, they want power. Ultimate objective is to get power and authority, and even if they don't achieve power and authority, they would have a comfortable, luxurious living without making any job, without doing any work, without doing anything. There are servants to them all over. This is the problem with terrorism. There is terrorism because there are terrorists. There are terrorists who are programmed to do so with false hope that the real life is after death, and they are ready to die. What can I do about such things? They are convinced, they are ready to die, and they are ready to blast. So, look at Israel, they are doing the right thing. They are not disturbing the unfortunate, ignoramus terrorists on the ground level who really practically go and apply terrorism, but they are targeting as leaders who actually misguide them, keep misguiding them from generations to generations, and enjoy their lives. Right thing they are doing, they are really capable of doing it. No one knows how they do it, but they are doing the right thing, they are doing a right job. So terrorism should be stopped when the terrorist leaders don't exist. Though there are the people, the terrorist leaders are the leaders who make a living out of creating terrorists and propagating terrorism. Those people should be targeted. Right it is. So we shall meet again with some other thoughts. Till then, Namaste, Jai Bharat and Jai Sri Ram.